uploaded anything, and since I even did anything on this channel. The last time actually was in September when we went to Hawaii, but I didn't love the edit, so I didn't keep it up, and I just didn't think there was like enough content in the video for me to keep it up, and now I'm updating this. So the reason why I'm doing this, if you guys didn't already know from the title, or not the reason, but the subject, if you guys didn't already know from the title, is my trip to Mexico. So I think so many people were curious about it because it was for such a long time and I was posting about it a lot, and I just was getting a lot of questions from a lot of people and getting a bunch of DMs, and I just figured I could make a video and I could answer questions. I could finally upload something on my channel and try to be more consistent with it. So this is kind of like kickstarting it again. I know it's been a while, like I said, but hopefully I'm getting back into it, and hopefully this answers most of the questions that people had. Okay, so I have questions on my phone from an Instagram poll that I did a while ago, and also just questions that I got DM'd a lot. I took the most popular ones because I felt like if I was going to answer all of the questions that I got, some were really small questions, very, very specific questions, and I feel like these are a lot broader and I can answer better, I guess. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like jump right into it and try to get this out as fast as I can with the least amount of rambling, hopefully. Alright, so I think this is definitely the most popular one that I've gotten on my Instagram. How long I was gone. So I was gone from December till May. So like the very first week, I think, of December to the last week of May. So for me, I count December because it was like from the beginning. I don't know, some people were like it was actually 5 months, but for me I counted as 6 because I think, you know, December, January, February, March, April, May, which is 6 months. In my opinion, I've had people be like, no, that was 5. So regardless, it was anywhere from 5 to 6 months. And for me, that was a really long time, considering the fact that I didn't think I was going to be gone for more than a month tops. My plan was 3 weeks, but I was thinking, you know, if I'm really pushing it, it's going to be a month. Did You Vlog was another one that I got a lot from people on this channel that follow me on Instagram, which if you're not following me already, I think you should. But I got a handful asking if I did vlog my experience, and I actually didn't. The reason why is because my family, for the most part, and it's just really awkward for me to vlog with them because I think most of my family in Mexico don't really understand, and I think it's really kind of rude for me to kind of like try to impose it on them, and it was just gonna be a lot for them, so I just thought, you know, let me not. And also I didn't really feel like embarrassing myself in front of them or having them think that like I'm super narcissistic, because even though it's a pretty common thing here, a lot of people do vlog just even personally for themselves like I do. I just didn't think they would understand, and I didn't feel like going into it and explaining it to them. I tried to do it discreetly here and there, but once I figured that I was going to be there for a longer time, that's when I started, but it just wasn't going to work out. I just couldn't get consistent enough, and it was just a lot. So no, I mean I did, but no, I'm not going to upload it just because I feel like it's not enough content. So I tried my best, but it didn't work out. Okay, I'm gonna do the why now because that one was the most asked question, because who goes to Mexico for 6 months out of nowhere, right? This one is a pretty layered question. I went for multiple reasons. There were a lot of things that kind of led up to that. And I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can in the right order and the reasonings and everything, but it's probably gonna get rambled anyway. So I apologize in advance, but I'm gonna try to explain it. So first off, just a little background so you guys can understand. My mom and my stepdad have land in Mexico where they have like plantations and stuff like that. But since they live here, it's really hard for them to like kind of keep track of everything. They're not there to see everything go down. So they go every like 6 months, and they won't go for longer than a month, like I said. So that's just kind of typically what they do. I'm never part of it because I have nothing to do with it. My sister's a toddler, so she's 2. And she's been making it a little bit difficult going to Mexico for them just because she's very, like, she's at that age where she's kind of like trying to be everywhere at once, and it's just a lot for my mom. So while she was here, I was helping her out as much as I could to like babysit her if they wanted to go out or if they had anything going on. I was the person that would help her along with my grandma. Because my sister doesn't like being around strangers, like they could have easily called up like a babysitter or something. But she's not the best around strangers, and she's just comfortable with us. So me being a part of the people that she's comfortable with, my mom asked me if I wanted to go to Mexico with her and help her out with the baby. Or with my sister, I'm used to calling her baby because she's the baby of the family. But she asked if I wanted to go help her and also like have some time off. Because I had let her know a few weeks prior to them leaving that I wasn't really like happy where I was. I was working a lot, 5, 6, 7 days a week as a server. I was making really good money. For me, the issue was just that I wasn't happy and I wanted to go back to school and I wasn't doing anything about it, and there were a lot of things that were going on that I was just like, geez, like I need a break, I need a change of scenery, I need to do something. But a vacation wasn't an option because all my friends were working as well. I didn't want to go by myself. Everyone kind of had their own thing going, and I just wanted time off. I wanted to, I don't know, I just wanted to get out of my routine because I felt like I was in it for so long that it just got to be a lot for me. And I just wanted to be doing more. So I talked to my mom about that, and then that's when she offered to take me with her, and you know, it would be me helping her out but also me changing my routine, which sounded really good to me, and I thought, you know, why not do it? So those were the 2 main reasons, and there were like a couple of other reasons, so I'm going to go into that a little bit. For the most part, I am pretty good with my Spanish, but I felt like I was losing like the grammatical structure. I felt like I wasn't being as fluent with my Spanish, and I felt like I was getting stuck a lot and I was forgetting it a lot, and I just didn't like it because I've always been really proud about being Mexican. I've always been really proud about being able to speak Spanish and all of these things. And I felt like at this point I just wasn't where I could be, and since Spanish was my first language, I was like, come on, like I should be able to do this. I just needed more practice, so I figured this was a good opportunity to practice, since I was gonna have to be speaking Spanish every single day to everyone. So that was another thing. Okay, so I don't really want to talk about this too much, but it was a reason why I went, and I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this or not, but since it is part of the reason why I went, I'm gonna just say it. Hopefully we don't get too emotional over here. But my grandpa passed away 2 years ago, and I couldn't bring myself to go to his funeral because I wanted to remember him the way that I knew him. So just I wanted to remember him the way that I knew him, which was always really strong. It was always really resilient. He was funny. He was very loving. Like, I just couldn't bring myself to see him gone. So I couldn't bear the feeling of going to my grandma's house and him not being in his little chair where he always was when we went, or going into the house and not hearing him laugh or telling jokes, or, you know, arguing with my grandma. I just couldn't imagine going to a place where I grew up basically with them and not seeing him there. It just didn't feel right. So because of that, I hadn't gone back to Mexico since he passed away. I just couldn't do it. I felt like it was a lot for me to process, and I couldn't deal with it at the time. So I just kind of pushed it to the back of my mind, and I wasn't really dealing with it. I didn't really grieve the right way. I think I just kind of wanted to think that he was still around, since I didn't see him every day, since I didn't speak to him every day. It was kind of like, if I didn't think about it, then I could just tell myself that he was still here. So I just didn't go. And I felt like I needed to finally grieve my grandpa's passing. I finally felt like I was in a mental state where I could. And I could go visit his grave, and I could go to my grandma's house and see that he's not there anymore, and finally be able to like move past that. And I felt like this was a step in the right direction, to kind of, I don't want to say get over it, because I don't think anyone ever gets over losing someone, but it was a step into acceptance and knowing that he was really gone. Went to Mexico for that as well. I wanted to connect with more of my family and experience being in Mexico as an adult. That's it. Those are my reasons. And I know that was a really lengthy explanation. I had a lot of things going on, and it just seemed like the right time to do so. Okay, let's see. Is that annoying when I like smack my lips after I drink it? I'm so sorry if it is. Oh my god, I did it again. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Let's see. Let's see. I already answered that one. Any inconveniences that came with your travels? Okay, so for the most part, Mexico is, you know, it's not, I feel like it's middle ground. Like, there are things that aren't very advanced yet, but inconveniences coming from someone from super first world problems, having warm water on demand. Like, you have to turn on the boiler, I think is what it's called, to warm up your water. So that was kind of inconvenient. Wake up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go hit the shower. But once you're in there, you're like, fuck, I forgot to turn on the boiler. And you have to get out, turn it on, wait a couple of minutes, sit in the bathroom, wait for the water to warm up. So that kind of sucks. I don't know anyone in Mexico that doesn't like have to do that. Some people don't even have it. But thankfully we have showers at my grandma's house, my stepdad's house, my aunt's house. Like, everyone that I stayed with had access to a shower, and for the most part it wasn't that bad. But that was one of the inconveniences. Super small, super first world, I know, but that was one of them. Also, so we don't have, or we, in Mexico, you're not supposed to drink the tap water because it can make you sick. So when we went to restaurants, it was like there was never water available to drink, and that's my only thing that I really drank. Before I went to Mexico, like, I only drank water with all of my meals. I like water. So When we went, I knew this, but I just figured that I could get a water bottle or something. But that wasn't really the case because most places didn't have water bottles, period. No water at all. It's like soda and agua fresca, which both are super sugary. But I learned to kind of carry my own water bottle if I could remember if we were gonna go out to eat or anything. But for the most part I didn't remember, so I was drinking a lot of just agua fresca. Water wasn't as accessible as it is here. Traveling from one place to another in Mexico is always so tedious and I hated it. Basically, to get from one town to another, sometimes it's pretty close, so it's not like a big deal. But if you're going to like from one major town to another one, they're far apart from each other. So, and all the roads in Mexico are like super windy. And I don't usually get car sick, but in Mexico the whole time I was there, if we were going, which was all the time, like every single day we were traveling from one place to another, or commuting from one place to another, I was homesick like the whole time I was there, pretty much. And I took like motion sickness pills, but those didn't really work, and it was just like every single day I was like car sick. Those were my inconveniences. Super first world, I know, I'm sorry. Alright, let's see. Did you get homesick, and what was it that you missed the most about your hometown? I did get homesick a lot. So for those of you guys that don't know, most people do because it's on my Instagram, but I'm from the Bay Area. It's a very diverse, very like everything is here. I don't even have to worry about anything just because I know that everything that I need is around me, and I can get around. I can find what I'm looking for if I'm looking for something. Events happen a lot here. My family, my friends are here. So all of that I really missed, but I just miss like the independence. I miss being able to kind of just do whatever I want to do, dress however I want to dress, you know, get ready, do my makeup and stuff like that. I know it seems really small, but for me, my self-expression is very important to me. Like my identity is like tied up a lot on how I present myself to the world, and it's like I couldn't do this in Mexico, and I really missed that. I missed just being able to be myself pretty much, because I always felt like I was doing too much for being in the little town that I was in. The Mexican culture is very different, but yeah, that was that. I just missed the environment, the culture that we have here, the diversity. Like I missed all of that. I did miss it. I did get homesick a lot. Okay. How does Mexico compare to the US in your opinion? It is very like set in its rules. It's a very strict culture, I want to say. It's very like one track mind, kind of like, you know, cookie cutter, follow the same rules for everyone type of thing. Culture's very different. I don't really want to go into it too much because it's gonna be like a whole nother video that I feel like I need to film, but it's different. I could not live there if I had to go back. I consider myself to have lived in Mexico because I was there for half a year, but I wouldn't do it again. It's just not for me. It's a dope vacation spot if you want to go for vacation, if you're going for like fiestas or whatever, carnaval, I don't know what you guys call it, but I wouldn't go to live there. It's just I'm used to being able to be myself and be able to express myself and be able to have my opinions, and you know, I've been very fortunate to have that. Couldn't backtrack from that. I just feel like it's very closed-minded, set in its old ways. Unfortunately, it's different. The political climate here is really like intense right now, but I would still take being here than being in Mexico any day. So if that tells you anything, great. If not, then I don't know what to tell you guys, but I'm sure like my fellow Mexican people know what I'm talking about. It's super fun going on vacation and enjoying like las ferias, el carnaval, fiestas, I don't know what you guys call them again. But, you know, going to the beach and enjoying all of that, but actually living there is very different. Like I said, I'm very used to my commodities here. I'm very used to, you know, being able to speak my mind. And not that anyone stopped me from speaking my mind, but it's just, it's not the same as it is here. So I do thank my parents every single day for thinking about my brother and I and them wanting to have their children grow up here. I think I'm very fortunate. I think everyone that got that opportunity is extremely fortunate to grow up here, at least in the Bay Area. I don't know about the rest of the US, but in the Bay Area it's been a really awesome like upbringing. I taught my parents a lot, which I don't think they would have ever learned if it wasn't for me and if it wasn't for us living here. There's a lot of differences, and that's that. I think this is the last one I'm going to answer, just because I don't want this to be too long. But let's see. Oh, this is a good one. What places did you visit, and do you recommend us to visit? What places did I visit, and what places do I recommend you guys to visit? Okay. My family is from Jalisco. That's the state that I went to. And Guadalajara, which is the major city in Jalisco, is like 30 minutes to an hour away from all of the little towns that my family is from. So that's where we were for the most part, in little towns close to Guadalajara. We went to the city a lot. We were in those other towns. I'm not even gonna mention them because chances are you guys don't even know and you guys are never gonna go anyway. We went to a few beaches out there. We went to Tequila and like other places, other towns. Again, I'm not gonna even mention them because I'm sure you guys are not gonna be going there. I'm gonna talk about the 4 major places that we went to that are pretty well known, and I'll let you guys know if I recommend them, or if I don't, or if I do recommend them, what my advice is. So I'm gonna start with the beaches because those are like my favorites. And we ended up going to Melaque. We went to La Manzanilla. So Melaque is a very friendly, like family vibe to it, and it was really nice, super calm. The water itself isn't calm water, but it is a very beautiful beach. The town is super cute, but it is very touristy now, so I don't know if some people like it or not, but there's a lot of like white people there. So it is a relatively safe place, but just like any other foreign country, you guys should be careful. It's a beach town, it's super cute, like I said, touristy as fuck, but it was fun. It was a really pretty place to visit. The weather was amazing. The water is pretty warm. Next was La Manzanilla, which was my favorite beach in Mexico that I've ever been to. It's also very, it's like a really cute beach town, but it's not as touristy as Melaque. It was very, I don't want to say lonely, but it was very secluded. And the beach was beautiful. It is in the coast though, so I believe they do have crocodiles there, but we didn't see any. We were okay. It's very beautiful. It's not very touristy, I don't think, or at least when we went. We rented out a loft for not too much, and it was like 2 bedrooms right on the beach for like $50, I think, per night, which is really good. It was really nice. I enjoyed it. I definitely want to go back. It seems like a really cool like couple getaway because it's really quiet, really like on your own type of thing. So I recommend Now we're gonna talk about Puerto Vallarta because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well,
what if we don't want a family place?
And Puerto Vallarta is a very fun place to go to with your friends and like go to a party and have fun. But if you're looking to go to the beach and you're thinking, you know, a pretty beach, Puerto Vallarta is not it. It's definitely like a party spot. It's more of like a couple or like a friend trip, but it is really fun. If that's what you're planning to do, if that's what you're looking for, go party. Puerto Vallarta is it. If you're looking for a pretty beach to just relax, I don't recommend. Oh, tequila. If you guys didn't know this, Tequila Jalisco was a place where they invented tequila, and they have a bunch of tours for like all the distilleries. So they have a bunch of distilleries, tequila tasting tours that they have, and there's just so many that you can pick from. There's like, that's the whole point of the town pretty much. Like, you can imagine it is pretty touristy. People tend to go to get drunk, obviously, so it's really fun. It depends the kind of family dynamic that you have, but I've gone with my family. It was super fun. We drank a lot, and it's just really scenically, it's really beautiful. And tequila is a big part of Jalisco's culture, along with mariachi, and there's a lot of both of those things there. So I recommend it. I mean, if you're going and you want to like check things off on your itinerary and you're going to Jalisco, tequila is the one spot that a lot of people tend to go to. So Guadalajara is the major city. A lot of what they have is what we have here. Like food-wise, stores, they have like Home Depot, Costco, Walmart, a lot of other places, a lot of food spots that we have here, they have there as well. And like a lot of really cool restaurants that they would never let you have here. They have a restaurant with swings all over the restaurant. It seems very dangerous and they probably would not let you have it here. They just have like a lot of restaurants like that that are super fun, really nice. It's a really like foodie place to go to. Food bloggers tend to go there because there are a lot of really cool spots like that. It's a really cool city, but it's also equally dangerous. I recommend you to really research the places that you're going to and research how you're gonna get there, because it's just as busy as the closest thing that I can think of is like SF, but times like 2 or 3, and the crime rate is the same. It is fun, it is a cool experience. They have something called Tlaquepaque, which I've gone to a few times as a kid, but I didn't get to go this time, but I remember it being really cool. It's like very traditional Mexican culture within like the city. They have a lot of really cool museums. They have a lot of really cool like just shops, and I don't know, I recommend it. It's really fun, but I do recommend you guys to do your research before you go. Figure out a way of how you're gonna get around, figure out what places to stay out of, and I don't recommend you guys being out very late if you're gonna be staying in the city. So many things to do. Research, just like as if you're gonna go to any other place. I always recommend you guys to research stuff. Those are the spots that I went to and the places that I can recommend to you guys. So I think this is the end of the questions. I think this is where we part ways. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys take some of my advice. I hope you guys got your questions answered if you were one of the people that asked questions. So yeah, hopefully I'll stay more consistent with videos. Hopefully this summer I get to do stuff and I get to vlog for you guys. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, you guys know the link is in the description box below. You guys can like, comment, subscribe if you'd like. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy having you guys interact with me on Instagram. Like, that's probably one of my favorite things, and hopefully it continues to grow. I didn't really want to put out the video itself for people on my Instagram that didn't already like know this was a thing, because I didn't want to be that person that like pushes their videos. But YouTube, it's like not pushing small channels anymore, or if you're not as active, it just won't push your stuff at all. So that kind of sucks, and I had to resort to this. I feel weird. I didn't want to do it, but I guess it had to be done at some point. Like, only the very closest people to me know about this. But now a lot of people know about it, pretty much my whole Instagram. So I don't know how I feel about it, but it's here. I'm just kind of trying to share my experiences, what I've taken from them, like knowledge that I have. I want to make sure I make another trip somewhere in the world. Japan seems to be calling my name a lot lately. And if you guys have any tips or places that we should visit, leave them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram. Let me know if you've been to Japan before, because that is next on my list. I want to check that off as soon as possible. It might not be for another few months, obviously. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.